Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today to make a box for our Christmas Scottie cards. Now, I totally forgot that Stampin' Up! Has these boxes already pre-made, which took me less than a minute to put the cards in, 4 of the 8 cards in there. But I already worked out the box in my head, and so I'm going to show you how to make your own box. If you are going to sell these at craft fairs, I highly recommend that you buy the boxes from Stampin' Up! It was so much easier. You don't have to decorate. This particular box is one from I think like 14 years ago, but we do have boxes in the catalog now that have a window. It's just a little bit different shape. So let me show you that. So the boxes are in the annual catalog, the May 2022 through April 2023 on page 140. It is the craft gift boxes, number 156569. So like I said, the window is just a little bit different. These ones were the ones from years and years ago when I was Stampin' Up! Before. It's the same concept, just with a fancier window. They're only $10 for 10 boxes. So like I said, if you're doing these for craft fairs, it would be, you know, a little less time consuming to do that. Let me show you what else we are going to be using to decorate. If you remember, I did this card yesterday, and this was my favorite out of all of them, so I kind of picked the same color palette as this one, and we use the Designer Series paper, the Painted Christmas 156292. Here are the pieces. I used the Christmas Scottie stamp set and punch. Oh, here's stamp set over here. This can be found on page 34 of the mini catalog, July through December 2022 by the bundle. 159744. I used the Versamark ink, the Cherry Cobbler, and I stamped my puppy dog in the Blackberry Bliss. I used Early Espresso cardstock. I used Very Vanilla cardstock, and I used Crumb Cake. And I used Cherry Cobbler in this one. I haven't decided which variation I'm going to use, but I did change up the gems, and I used the brushed metallic adhesive dots, and I want to say those are in the annual catalog, which if they are, it's on page 143. I use these right here. Number 4, brushed metallic dots, 156506. Okay, that's what I used. Just kind of changed it up a little bit. All right, you are going to have to use your 12 by 12 paper. The only color I have in 12 by 12 is the basic black. So we're going to use that. Oh, the teacup was from the Tea Boutique. The teacup dies. I use the one here. I think that was everything. All right, so let me move that out the way. You're going to cut your paper to 11 3/4 by 9. So 11 3/4 by 9. Okay. On the 11th and 3/4 side, need to make some room. You're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch, 3/4, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/4, 6 1/4, and at 11. 11. Rotate it so the 9-inch side is on top. Score it at 3/4. So 3/4. 3/4. 1.5. 1.5. 7.5. 7.5. And 8.25. 8.25. Okay, that's all the scoring that we're going to need right now. Let's put our scoreboard away. We need to do some cutting. Let me find a pencil. Okay, so we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. Okay, on the top either, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. So we're going to chop off the 2 squares all the way on the right and the 2 rectangles all the way on the right. I'm going to use scissors. You can use your paper trimmer. And I'm going to bring it here to this score line. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing up there. And we're going to go ahead and chop this off. Okay. Alright, so let's turn our paper back this way to where we just chopped off is still on the right. We're going to go ahead and miter our corners because this is our closure flat. So we're just taking a little chunk and we're going to cut off a sliver. Okay, I don't know why my camera's acting up. We're just going to cut off a sliver just to kind of make it easier to close. Just a little bit off the top. Alright, now we need to work on our left side. What we need to do is go ahead and cut up this score line and cut off this one square. Okay, cut up the score line, cut off one square. We're going to do that on the same on the top. Okay, so cut up. No, I can't see my score line. I'll show you in just a second. I had to readjust mine because I couldn't see my score line with the pencil mark. Alright, so cut up the score line and cut the first square off. Miter your corners on this second square. Okay. Same thing. You're going to cut up your score line. Cut that first square off and miter, miter. Okay. Now we need to do the same to the top. Cut up that score line. Cut the rectangle or the square off. Miter, miter. Cut up the score line. Cut the first square off and miter, miter. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say you do need a corner rounder if you choose. I like to corner rounder my flats just because I think it looks finished, but you don't have to. Alright, find your bone folder and let's go ahead and varnish all of your lines. It doesn't matter what order you varnish. For me, it's easier to cut before I varnish, but you'll see me do both. Okay, so varnishing. We're almost done here. And varnish and varnish. Okay. Go ahead and corner round your corners with whatever corner rounder you own. Stampin' Up! Does have corner rounders. This is just what I have, so I'm going to use it. And you're going to round your other flats as well. If you forget this stuff, you can round it when the box is all put together. It's just easier to do it now. Okay. Alright, so let's put our closure flap back to the right. You're going to fold it over. And you're going to see if you can fold this flap nicely. If not, just cut off another little tiny sliver off your flap. It's just so your box fits nicer. You just lay it down and call it done, right? Okay. Alright, so we're going to put glue on that. Okay. So we're just going to put glue. And however which way it's easier for you to line this up. I just bring mine together. You know what? Honestly, I do it different every time. Just as long as you match these sides up, you're good to go. I don't know where I put my, oh, here it is. Okay, so your box should be perfectly shaped. And you're going to tuck your flaps in. Maybe. This one doesn't want to seem to work. There we go. You're just going to make sure before you decorate, you just want to make sure your box works. Because you know what? We're human and sometimes you measure slightly wrong or, you know, something. A lot of people like to decorate before they put their box together, but I don't trust myself, so I do it after. It's a little loose, but I'm okay with that. Now you can untuck it and go ahead and decorate it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pattern paper here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I'm not going to leave a border because I didn't have the color that I wanted. So I'm not going to leave a border because I don't really want the black to show on the front. I don't care about the back. So if you don't want a border, then you're going to cut your designer paper at 4 3/4 by 6, which this should already be by 6. It is. There we go. Mine has a slight overhang, so oh well, that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and glue this down. If you have, you know, any of the 12 by 12 paper, you can obviously use whatever color you want, but I only have basic black, so that's what I'm using. Use your adhesive of choice. I am going to go ahead and cut this tiny little sliver off. Like so. Okay. And before I decorate my front, I'm going to go ahead and put my cards in. So I have the 4 that had this background paper. I'm going to put my tan teacup up top. So go ahead and place that in. I guess I could have closed one of the sides first, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. Alright, so go ahead and get that in there. Okay. You can do strips if you want. I'm not. I think it's okay. What's going on over here, guys? Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to decide how I want my box to be. Nope, too much. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my box flat, and so I'm going to flatten I'm just going to glue my pieces on. I'm not going to add any dimensionals. Now, if you notice on my cards, I added some glitter gel and whatnot. After the fact, I added some extra gems and whatnot. Feel free to add on. There you go. Now, if you have the rectangle dies or any shaped dies, you can make your own little window, and then you don't have to decorate your box all the way if you don't want to. But I wanted to, since I was using that basic black, I wanted to cover it up. So I think this is crooked. Maybe it wasn't. Okay. I'm going to glue down his little paw right here. What's going on with my glue? Alright, so there is that. You can use your gems, use your glitter gel, whatever your glossy accents to decorate it however you like. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.